Good morning, Kalekye. How are you doing?
Good afternoon from Kenya.
Welcome to Atieno'S Success Leaves Clues. And this is our Kalekye Mumo TV presenter, radio personality in Kenya. And Kalekye, would you like to tell us just a little bit about yourself? Who is Kalekye in the aspect of career-wise as a person? What would you like us to know?
I'm really excited to be talking to you, Jackie, and obviously the international folk out there. In terms of who I am, first, I'm a fun-loving person.
Great.
And more than anything, love life. I think it's more important to be defined by the things you love than your job. But when it comes to my career spans from starting off as a sound engineer for about 5 years, and then going to the front line and taking on a career in radio, which I did for about 10 years at KISS.
Okay.
KISS FM. And by the time I was leaving, I was the breakfast anchor. And my birthday gift to myself, as it were, by the time I was 40, I was like, you know what, you gotta leave, you gotta move on, because 10 years in one place is quite a long time. And so after 10 years on radio, I left. Wasn't quite sure what I was going to be doing next, but I knew I'd love to delve into TV. I'd love to have a show, because I love to interview and talk to people. Okay. And apart from that, I've been in business. So I run a hair and beauty salon. I've done that for about 6 years now.
Oh,
and so, yeah, being in business entrepreneurship in Kenya, it ain't easy, but we try. And so by the time I was leaving, that was just really the focus, and what else would I be doing? Went through a weight loss journey where I lost 40 kilos.
Oh, wow.
And just in time for my 40th, celebrated it with a huge party. And so I think the year I left, I spent most of the time documenting a healthy lifestyle. And because I had so many of my fans asking me, how did you do it? What did you do? What if I don't have the money to pay for certain things? And so it was about coming up with really authentic, natural ways to watch what you eat, because again, you are what you eat. And as that went along, I got to try some online radio as well. Did that at What's Good Studios, What's Good Radio, for about 6 months. And then in between those 6 months came calling a TV station at K24 TV. And they were like, look, I mean, if you have time in your busy schedule, could you do a show?
Okay.
The show is called Talk Central. Okay. But it was about revamping it and giving it a new voice. And I must say, it's been a year, going to a year and a half now. And I really love it, because it's a chance to talk to people in a different way. Being on radio, you have a character. The style of the station was young and hip, so I had to sound 18 to 24. Now I can just be a happy 40-year-old.
And just be who you are. So between television and between radio, do you prefer one over the other, or
Oh no, it's so hard to choose. I mean, I miss radio because I love music. It's faster, it's pacier. But I don't think I'd choose one over the other. TV is good because it's more structured, and right now where I am in my life, it's easier to handle. But oh man, the days I miss radio so much. I do.
Okay. So between the two, what would you say were your highlights of your day? Say on a radio day, what were the things that you looked forward to, and on a TV day, like, I mean, of course, it varies, I bet. But I guess, what are the similarities and what varies, and what really are your highlights? What makes you want to, go to work?
I think for radio, it was just, trying to find out, will today be the day that we don't get a crazy caller with a crazy story? Will that be the day? And every day for 10 years, we had somebody with a story. We're going, oh my God, did you just say that on radio?
Oh my God.
So looking forward to what people's stories would be, and the kind of things that they would share, and how I would make them feel when I kissed them, because it was Kiss FM. And so we would be blowing kisses, and just the way people react to a simple, so that was nice. Just how I had the power to make people feel a certain way across the country.
Oh, wow.
That's, that was awesome. Of course, waking up in the wee hours was not awesome. Being up at 4 a.m. to be at the studio at 5 for a show at 6 was like, oh my God, you know. But when you talk to the people, your life just lights up and everything is really awesome. But then when it comes to now, the preparation for both shows, whether it's TV or radio, takes just about the same amount. The difference being for radio, it's very current. It has to be consistent. So you're consistently prepping. When you're talking to people, listening to stories, you're constantly working. So that used to take a lot out of me. But for TV now, you have to be talking about things that are fact. It's not about your opinion, unlike radio, which is your opinion. Here you're dealing with facts. And your interviews are based on people's stories. So I think that's what I look forward to, just discovering people's stories. You know how you think you know people until you really research more about them and you're like, I didn't know that about you.
So got you, right.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's nice to know about your highlights. Have you had any, when you talk about in radio, like you can't believe somebody just say that on radio? I guess the same happens for TV as well, or do you do recorded shows or do you do live shows when you do TV?
At the moment for our show, since it's a talk show, it's primarily about personalities, famous personalities who are known across the country. And the content is really about them, their life, where they came from, how they got to where they got to, and their difficulties, and more of an inspirational kind of story. So there are not too many surprises except for the audience or how they respond to a certain situation. I remember we were interviewing this lady. She's called Kalekye. She was also a radio host, and she had gone through a crazy divorce, and they were both celebrities, and just her sharing how it took her into depression. And then she starts crying and it's on TV and you're trying not to cry. And so there are moments like those which are so hard. And then, and then the fun bits where we're talking about the stories that are hot and stories that are viral with the TC Gang, which is a group of 3 people who comment on things that have happened across the week. That's a lot of fun. That's really fun. Yeah.
I've watched the TC Gang. They're, I'll tell you, there's something else. They put somebody on the hot seat. You never know what kind of questions they're going to ask you.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a little scary. And I guess also then when you talk about raw emotion, when people are, crying and stuff, have you ever cried on air when asked questions, say you're being interviewed or interviewing? Have you ever had times you cried?
I don't think I've cried when I'm being interviewed. That hasn't happened. I don't think there's a situation that's gotten me there. But when listening to a story, I'm a very sensitive kind of person. So when listening to a story and I can feel the emotion, you're balancing the tears, but I've never let them roll, but they're there and I know they're there. My producer knows they're there. So that's happened. That's happened before. Just the emotions that you get sometimes can be really crazy. I mean, I've had to do shows, I think the toughest things, both radio and TV, when I've lost people or somebody's sick, currently going through something and I can't leave because the show must go on. That's hard. I remember one time my dad was having a stroke and my sister was calling me off the hook and we had just parted ways. We'd had lunch, parted ways. So I'm wondering, why are you calling me? I'm on the air, I'm on air. Right. And I was alone. I didn't have my co-presenter. He was on leave. So I mean, concentration was, paramount. And then when I finally pick up the phone and I'm like, yo, why are you calling me? And she's like, Dad, I think Dad is having a stroke. And I had another 4.5 hours of a show to do.
Oh my God.
Nothing I could do about it. I had to smile through the entire show and do what I could. That was hard. That was really hard.
Oh my God. I'm really sorry that is how it didn't even show on the show, how you didn't even burst into tears on the show.
I mean, I think the most important thing to know when you're taking up a role where people are dependent on you, they don't know you, but they depend on you for something. Every day they come to you to listen. The show must go on. The show just must go on. I didn't have anyone else to sit in on the show, so I had to do the show. Again, now crossing over to TV where you have a bit more control because you're recording and everything. Right. But I had to talk about the passing of my late cousin, Janet Kanini. She was famous and we had to talk about it. And she and I were really close. And so having to say that she's passed away on a TV platform and watch the, photographs and still have it together because we're planning the funeral, that was extremely hard. And I remember that particular show was a big show because Zain Verji, who was formerly of KTN and formerly of CNN, she was in the country from the US, and her team had actually emailed me to say, Zain is coming and she wants you to interview her. Now that's the day she's interviewing me. I have to talk about this death. It's the same week. So I can't run away from the interview. I have to do the interview. I mean, so there are moments where, you're really tested. You're really tested as to who you are and what it is that you have to do, even if you don't want to do it, kind of thing. But yeah, it happens. Yeah.
Do you feel like maybe the audience connects with you? Because before I thought when they stated, you have to show up to work or, for your business or whatever and do what it is you have to do. But listening to you now and thinking about if somebody called me and told me my father was having a stroke, or I have to talk about the death of somebody close on TV, or on radio, I've never been put in a situation like that. I don't know how to handle, but do you think sometimes the audience empathizes with you because they understand that you are going through something? And at that point, I bet your emotions are really raw. And I know you say the show must go on, but I'm sure there must be some type of giveaways. Have you felt that your audience have connected with you?
You see, the most difficult thing, Jackie, is you cannot let the audience know what you're going through, especially for radio. I couldn't say that my father is having a stroke because you're not calling for sympathy. The show must be fun. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I didn't say anything. They didn't even know. For TV, because I mean, everyone knew she was my cousin. I would say my late cousin, but I still have to do the story. I can't show emotion. I can't ask them to be sympathetic. You can't. The rules do not allow you to do that. So at the end of the day, you say what you have to say and try and keep that straight face and finish what you have to finish. Yeah.
My respect for the profession. I did not understand it to this extent until this conversation. So kudos to what you've done for all these years without breaking. Oh my God. When it's fun and everything is going great in life, I can understand how, it's just your personality and what you do. But when things are going wrong and you still pull off a great show, Kalekye, and you have pulled off great shows over the years, both radio and TV. So kudos to you. You're very, you're welcome.